In this learning module, we're going to talk about living on your own. By the end of this module, you should determine how much it costs to live in the area of your choice. We'll be looking mostly at California. Estimate your living expenses to see if you can even afford to live on your own, and we'll identify some of the jobs that are required to support the lifestyle you're choosing. At the end of the module, we'll show you some shortcuts and some cost-saving measures where you can save money every day. So this is a very important module, very, very meaningful, because a lot of people go out and live on their own and they don't know what it costs. So of course, we'd like our own car. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want their own place to live? Who wouldn't like to set their own hours? So this is what people typically want when they graduate from high school or get out of college. You want to be on your own. However, a lot of people don't realize how much it costs. So let's take a look at some of these costs. We're going to show you some tools here. One's called California Reality Check. And in this website here, it's an interactive website that I'll walk you through. You pick the area of California you want to live, and we'll talk about what it costs to live there and what types of jobs might be available there. First of all, we want to frame this when some of the questions that you should ask and where you can get answers for this. First of all, how much should you expect to earn? We learned from Module 2 that the first rule of budgeting is start with your net income. So you've got to have realistic expectations about what you're really going to earn given your situation. This shocks a lot of people, especially people getting out of the house for the first time, is that there's a lot of bills to pay. Housing, food, clothes, transportation, utilities. There's a lot of bills to pay, and it overwhelms people if they're not expecting it. As a teenager, most of these are, if not all of them, are paid for you. Even as a college student, you typically get loans or somebody else is paying for college for you. Some of you might work your way through college and pay it for it yourself, but it's very expensive. And so even in college, the dorms, your food, your books, usually that's coming out of some other expense account like mom and dad's pocket or through student loans or through grants or scholarships. When you get out of college, if you do go to college, there are a lot of bills to pay. We want you to be ready for that. Once you realize what things are going to cost, critical question here is you need to know what type of career you're going to need and what education is needed for that career. Education doesn't stop when you graduate from high school. Even if you go on to college, whether it's 2 years or 4 years, your education has got to continue. So let's keep these questions in mind as we now take a journey through some of these costs here. Oh, and by the way, a lot of these resources we're going to use will be shown at the bottom of the module on the Blackboard site. So now let's go to a web page here. How can I figure out what I should expect to earn? Well, let's start here. I just go to Google and type in average starting salary of an American college graduate 2014, and this is what I come up with. Okay, the NACE is an organization that looks at this. Okay, it's the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So this is not what the colleges are saying alone, it's what employers are telling you. If I just scroll down a little bit, here you go. For the class of 2013, average starting salary when you get out of college is about 45,600. Okay, notice some of these are higher, right? Look at that. Engineering 62, almost 63,000. Computer science 59,000. Business 55,000. So some of them are low, some of them are higher, but on average it's 45,600. That's the number we're going to use. Let's go and see what happens if you don't have a college degree. Average starting wage for an American worker with a high school diploma. Well, I came up with this site here. Okay, this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's a government website, and it's a lot of text, not very user-friendly. But if you look, get down here, by educational attainment, full-time workers age 25 and over without a high school diploma, they had median weekly earnings of this number, 648 for those with a high school diploma, no college. But keep in mind, this is not the starting salary. This is all workers full-time age 25 and over. So you're probably not even going to make that much if you're at the bottom of the pay scale when you're new at the age of 25. Okay, if you go right out of high school, really, you're probably starting at about 20. So this number is skewed high. So we're going to take this number. Now I'm going to look at these things we talked about last chapter called a spreadsheet. Okay, remember it was about 45,600. This is what I did for a college graduate here in the blue font. Average starting salary of a college graduate. And remember that other number we said, 648? Okay, I took that and I put it here. This is what spreadsheets do for you. I've typed in a calculation here that says $648 a week, and we're assuming there's about 50 weeks in a year. A week actually has 52, but let's assume you work about 50. By the way, oops, the average worker typically works about 40 hours per week. And if I look at this salary, remember that was skewed high because that was mid-career. If you were starting, I just took a rough number, 75% of that number. So really 75% times that 32,000 means when you start your career with a high school diploma, you probably make about 24,000, and that's close to $12 per hour. So if you're making minimum wage, $8 an hour, that's tough. You're not going to make much money. $10 an hour, better. Okay, if you can make $15 an hour, that's even better. But really, this average per hour wage is about $12 per hour if you have only a high school diploma. So what's this come out to be? About 24,000 gross salary. But remember, we don't take the gross salary for our budget. We take our take-home pay. So I took that number, I took 85%. In other words, 15% is coming out for taxes. And so this is taxes and those other deductions we talked about in Module 2. So here we go, about 20,400. That's your take-home pay. All right. If you have a 4-year degree, you're going to pay more taxes because you're in a higher income bracket, right? If you make 45,000 from that other website, remember this number, 45,000. Okay, I put that there. I rounded to the nearest $100. And this is going to be, if I take 80% of that number, that's 20% is taken out for taxes and deductions, then you're going to have net income of about 36,480. Okay, so now let's do something very different here. I'm going to start budgeting using a tool called Gazelle Budget Lite. This is a tool used by Dave Ramsey. He is a personal finance guru, if you will. And let's take a look at what he does here. Okay, he has taken the 36,480, that's the number we had for our income, and he has all these categories. You can save some money, pay yourself first. You can pay for housing, and we'll go over some of those estimates later. You can pay for utilities, right? Water, sewer, trash, cable, phone, all of these things cost money. Okay, not to mention electricity. And so these are annual costs. If you want to know what these are monthly, divide by 12. Okay, food, that's a big number. Okay, divide by 12, it's about $200 a month, a little bit over. Okay, transportation, you can drive a fairly nice car at this amount. Okay, but you never know when your car is going to break down. So if I look at all these numbers here I've put into his spreadsheet, okay, I'm assuming also that I'm paying about $350 in college loan payments here, or for a car payment. Okay, if you have no debt, that's great because this number goes to zero. And look, if I do that, take away the 4528. If I do that, all of a sudden I've got 4528. I can now save up here. Okay, but if I need to put that in there, 4528, that's my total budget. I have none left. Anything here that I can save on. If I can reduce housing, I can save more money in this top category. If I can reduce my utilities cost by turning off lights, I can increase my savings. If you can save $5,000 a year or closer to 5,500, that's pretty good. Okay, let's look at these numbers now for a high school graduate. Let's just compare them side by side here. Okay, so this one here is going to be a high school person. I'll scroll over and we'll put them side by side. These are the numbers you just saw with a college graduate over here, side by side. Okay, notice they're saving $54.72. The high school numbers came from our spreadsheet, right? 20,400. We grossed 24,000, but after taking 15% out for taxes, this is where we're starting. Okay, so here we go, here we go. All right. If housing costs 40% of your total income, that's only 8,160. That's about $600 a month, 600 to 700 a month for an apartment or a house. Okay, you're only saving 1,100 a year. That's almost negligible. Okay, less than 6%. That's better than nothing. But all it takes is a car repair, or you get in a car accident, your insurance goes up, you get an unexpected bill. This could be wiped out pretty quickly. Okay, utilities. Notice the utilities are the same. 2040 for the college person, 2040 for this person. It's 10% here because it's a smaller number up there. But you're paying 10%. That's $1 out of every 10 for utilities. College person, paying the same exact dollars for utilities, it's only 5.6% because they've got a bigger income. Oh, by the way, look at this. Their housing is only 30% of their total income, but $10,944, that's like $900 a month. They can afford a nice place with that. Over here, you only get $8,000 to spend on housing, and it's a bigger part of your total budget. Food, 2040. Food, 2553. You get to spend more money on food, and it's actually less percent of your total budget. Transportation, okay, 15% here, 10% there. It's really 30/60. Even though this percentage is higher, you get $3,000 to spend on a vehicle. Here, you get 3,600 to spend on a vehicle and gas and traveling here. Okay, clothing, 5% in both cases, but this is more dollars because 5% of 36,000 is more. So you're getting to spend more money on clothing here. Same with medical. I left these at 5% for both high school graduate and for the college graduate. And the college graduate is more likely to get a job that has benefits. So maybe this medical cost drops to zero if your employer is paying for benefits. Over here, personal costs, okay, yeah, 5%, 5%, but notice 5% again is 1,800. Over here, it's 9 something. It's almost double over here. Okay, so you get to spend more money on personal things. That could be clothes, it could be trips, could be vacations, could be, new games for your Xbox, whatever it is, recreation. These costs are higher, or these expenses are higher over here, but you're still saving almost over 5 times as much. So clearly, life gets better. This doesn't take a huge analysis. Life gets much better if you have a college degree and you're making more money. 36,500 compared to about 20,400. That's a big difference. It's almost double. And that's just starting. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, college. We talked about this once, but it's worth talking about again. 12% of your budget is going to just pay off debts. Again, that's about $350 a month. If you can get your college loan payments down lower than that, you'll be able to save even more. But we strongly recommend you get out of debt quickly because the interest rates they charge you for debt are much, much more than the interest rates you're going to make by investing. So get out of debt quickly. Use your savings to get out of debt as fast as you can if you don't need it. Okay, I want to show you this site too, California Reality Check. Those numbers that you looked at, all those costs, they seem like a lot. Well, this reality check will tell you that it's not. There wasn't a place there for Roseville, so we picked Sacramento. This interactive website, you can just go there by Googling California Reality Check. Just pick the places you want to live. You want to live in an efficiency apartment? What is that? No, that means it's more like a studio. It's a single space with only a bathroom as a separate room. That's $800 in Sacramento. That seems high, doesn't it? Well, no, one bedroom apartment's about 900. I did a search on Craigslist, and one bedroom apartments in Roseville are about $900. This is pretty accurate. So let's move on here. Click this green arrow. Let's see what you're going to pay for utilities. These ones seem high to me, so I'm just going to pick electricity. If you have an apartment, they often pay for water and gas. Got to have our phone. Got to have some internet. Okay, and let's move forward. I'm going to skip cable. A lot of people don't, but it's, I think, wasted money, especially because you can get it online. Okay, I'm going to say eat organically just because it's the cheapest, $350 a month. Yeah, I think I can live on that. Or maybe even I'll eat at home. That's only $300 a month. Okay, I could do that. I think you could too as a young person. All right, moving on. What kind of car? I'm going to pick the cheapest one. I'm trying to be cheap and save money, $599 a month. Maybe that seems high, but depends if you have a car payment. You got a car payment of 300, your insurance is probably 200. $600 a month may not be out of line. That's reality. Okay, what am I going to buy? Shirts and blouses. Maybe if you got a blue collar job, you need some work clothes like these boots here. I don't know if I need both. I could probably get by in $75 a month. So I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to only include 75 here. And look at my balance. It's already pretty high, 2165. Medical insurance. Well, I better get some. They say 73 a month. You can really get hurt if you have an injury or a sickness and you don't have some sort of insurance. So I'm going to include that $73 a month. And then finally, I got to buy some basics like toilet paper, shampoo. I'm not going to get these extras like cologne. Who spends $175 on that stuff? I hope you don't. Hair and skincare, not something I'd recommend to young people. Okay, do that rarely, if ever. Hanging out, staying in. This one says only $25 a month. You want to go to the movies? That's 40, $50 a month. There's $74 a month. Let's go forward with that and let's see what we got. Oh yeah, gadgets, stuff. Well, I need to buy some stuff, right? If I got an apartment, I need cookware, $50. Let's go with that. And here we go. I think we're about done here. All right. Oh, I want to save 5% of my income. You could go low with 2. I don't recommend that. Drive this number up as high as you can if you can afford it. And where am I going to go? Well, maybe I'm only going to Sierra, get a 2-year degree. Maybe I'll be a mechanic. Maybe I can be a welder. Maybe I can become a nurse. Those folks get paid well. It's very hard to get into nursing school, but let's make it public. That's the cheap one. And that will tell me I need about $100 a month to pay for student loans and whatnot. And here is what it says. Housing's going to be $900 a month. These are monthly expenses. Utilities are $282. That's a lot. Okay. If we can cut down on utilities, that'd be a place to save. If I can eat cheaper, that'd be a place to save. Don't drive as much. Get the cheapest insurance you can, but still cover yourself. Healthcare, clothing, entertainment, all of these are variable expenses as we talked about in the last unit. If you can cut these down, you'll be able to save more money. Now notice here, they've got taxes taken out again, like at 15%, and they're still saying your annual salary need is about 36K. Well, isn't that what we said earlier? I think we said 36K is what the average person makes as their net salary. Okay, now this might be gross salary, but if you're making 36, these expenses are high even for Sacramento. You want to go to San Francisco or San Diego or Santa Barbara, these numbers are all going to go up. So check it out. Go play with CaliforniaRealityChecks.com. Check out Dave Ramsey's budget here. It's called the Gazelle budget tool, and you can punch in all the numbers you want. He even has an area where you can donate to charity if you'd like, but you punch in your income here, you punch in these numbers, you can slide these around if you'd like and see how much you go into debt, see if you can get your housing down, see if you can get your food down. You can play with these little sliders here and adjust your budget, but basically you really want to have a good feel for what these expenses are before you go out and get them. All right, CaliforniaRealityChecks.com. It doesn't end there. Okay, click the button below to see occupations. Well, here we go. What do you want? I said associate's degree. All right, I don't care what field I go into, so I just say I don't know. Maybe I want to go into science. Maybe I want to go into business or marketing. This will show me what careers are available. Okay, and I can click on that hopefully, and it'll take me to Career Zone, and it'll tell me about real estate agents, leasing agents, rental agents. Okay, you can work in the real estate industry. There's all kinds of things you can do there. Go back a little bit more. Okay, and I can pick careers here, and I can pick these occupations right here if I want to pursue them, if I know what I want to do, and find out how much you're going to make monthly. Because this website's pretty comprehensive. It wants to show you what it's like to live on your own and what income and what education you're going to need. Okay, so back to our PowerPoint here. All right, these tools are online. These will be posted at the bottom of the module, but basically we've covered how much it costs to live in your area. We're going to go over that in greater detail in a little bit. Estimate your living expenses, know some of the jobs required to support your lifestyle, and at the end of this module, we'll show you some ways to save money every day.